She was arrested after finding a coin that was 7 centuries old. Why would the police be interested in a 700-year-old coin a little girl found while working in the garden with her mother? Warning, this woman's story will tug at your heartstrings and leave you wondering what on earth the police in her town were thinking. Kate Harding was about 9 years old, helping her mom in their garden when she suddenly stumbled upon a small coin. She hid it from her parents and decided to keep this treasure a secret. Like every other kid, Kate spent a week obsessing over the new discovery, but when she got bored, she hid the coin in her dresser drawer and completely forgot about it. After many years, Kate was preparing to go to college, so she was moving out of the house. While packing, she found the old coin in her drawer. Just a few months after Kate found the coin in the garden, something devastating happened to her. The young girl had lost her mother. Finding this coin gave her an emotional connection to her beloved mother. She kept the coin as a reminder of her mother and their days spent working in their garden. She did not say a thing about the coin to anyone else. It was a memory she wanted to keep for herself. But 14 years later, Kate got much more interested in the coin. When she was 23 years old, she wanted to find out where the coin came from and what was its story. The following day, Kate visited the local museum in the town and looked for the help of some experts. Sadly, it never crossed Kate's mind that she may get into a lot of trouble than she could possibly imagine. The professional explained to Kate that the thing she found before many years was not a coin exactly. She was even more curious as to what the story behind it was now, so she wanted to learn more. Although this metal was not used as a currency, it still had huge worth, more than she ever thought. As a matter of fact, in the United Kingdom, only 4 of these metal coins exist. Some may think that this is great news, but that is not the case. Kate was informed by the professional that her finding is not a coin, but it is a Piedfort. But what is a Piedfort? It looks like a coin, but it weighs about twice as much as a coin. Also, Piedforts are double as thick. When Kate learned that the coin was worth a lot of money, she became very excited. If you are a student with loans, you could understand her situation. Although professionals in the field still need to find out the purpose of Piedforts, there is a theory that they were used as guides for workers. Kate learned that this was an object which was 7 centuries old. Can you imagine that? Holding in your hands something 700 years old? Amazing. Kate's coin turned out to be a commemorative object that put a mark on the ascension of Charles IV to the French throne back in 1322. That tells us the coin had important historical value. Also, it probably had substantial worth, as it does today. The worth of the rare Piedfort was estimated to $3,000, but she kept it all this time because she felt closer to her beloved late mother. Sadly, this case was different. Maybe the coin held sentimental memories for Kate, but for the police of England, it did not. Well, Kate could not understand why the authorities were so interested in her coin, but at the same time, the authorities did not understand the reason why the girl held onto it so much. Kate was advised by the Ludlow Museum that she should allow a local historian to learn about her discovery, so they would be able to examine it better and begin negotiations. Nevertheless, Kate decided to keep the Piedfort. She just continued her life and ignored the request. One day when Kate opened the door, the police were at her doorstep. They informed her that she needs to show up in court. The girl was completely confused. She was asking herself if she had done anything wrong. Well, Kate did not know that the law said differently. In fact, Kate never knew that there was a law about old coins. Things were taken to the extreme. Kate never thought that she would be the first person who was going to be prosecuted under the Treasure Act of 1996. According to the Treasure Act of 1996, anyone who finds an object older than 3 centuries that contains 10% precious metals and it is not a coin must report it to the coroner in a period of 2 weeks. Kate's actions were considered to be a criminal offense. Sad, but true. They took her offense very seriously because she did not report the old coin and she did not want to give it up. Kate felt as she was helpless. But can you imagine being in her place? The feeling must have been awful. Kate Harding was arrested, prosecuted, and she faced a charge of up to 3 months in prison. But Kate was lucky to have hired a good lawyer, Brendan Reedy. This lawyer seemed willing to help Kate because he had a lot of experience in representing clients at the Court of Appeals, magistrates' courts, and crown courts. He was determined to help Kate Harding. After a long and exhausting battle, Kate was set free under a conditional discharge. She just needed to pay $30 toward her legal fees. But the coin was the only thing she had from her mom. Thus, the object was priceless to her. The public was outraged on Kate's behalf, and rightfully so. It didn't sit right with people that she had to give up something that meant so much to her. There were even more questions coming from people. If it took place 14 years ago, she was only 9 years old. What was the age of criminal responsibility at the time? For juveniles under the age of 15, the prosecution would still have to prove that she knew that the act was seriously wrong. Kate was determined to do whatever it takes to keep the coin. She was probably very upset too. Well, we cannot blame her. So when Kate said she had lost the coin, the authorities finally stopped tormenting her. It was finally over for this poor girl. She deserved to be in peace. Maybe her pain was finally over. On the other hand, the museum would not be able to check if it was really lost, so it was going to stay a mystery. Kate could exchange the coin for $3,000, but the money would be spent and nothing would be left of it. After going through so much trouble, we really hope that Kate managed to keep the coin and hid it well enough on some place where only she would be able to find it. And from time to time remind herself of the beautiful moments she spent in the garden with her mother. There are things that money could never buy.